Could 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 make you a millionaire in the bull run? Let's have a look at it in today's video. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cheeky Crypto Uncensored. We're here to have a look at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, a project that we as Cheeky Crypto called out very early. We've obviously seen fantastic drops in price for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, but we've also seen some great runs to the upside. So we're going to have a quick look at the price action for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, what is likely to happen next, and potentially what is likely to happen in this next bull market for, the price action of 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. Great potential for, such a really great project that's very much under the radar. So we're going to cover off everything today, starting off with the 1 hour chart. Before we do get there though, guys, as always, smash up that like button, subscribe, tap on the bell selecting all of the notifications so that you never miss a video coming to you from Cheeky Crypto. So 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 paired up with USDT on that 1 hour time frame. Well, it's incredibly hard to map out the moves of 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 due to its volatile nature, its lack of liquidity. We can see this on the charts here. Elliott wave theory really requires a lot of liquidity. With the big wicks you can see off the candle bodies here, it's incredibly hard to chart on these lower time frames. However, we have done quite good with this recently. We've had some fantastic moves. We've been able to track this one fairly well over the the last few weeks and months. So what we have seen most recently, a bullish change of character, where we did see this pierce to the upside. However, it does look like we're about to get a bearish change of character if we continue to see this price drop. Dropping lower than 0.1627 of a cent here will obviously change that character into bearish. However, smart money concepts we can see on the charts here is giving us a strong low, a weak high. Smart money concept is looking for the price to continue moving to the upside. On this move to the downside, it is a simple corrective pattern. This A, B and C structure, looking for the move down to around 0.17 to 0.16 of a cent. Fantastic opportunity to be picking up some 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, I do think. Traditionally, looking at this chart, we can see the 50 EMA sitting up around about 0.18. The 50 SMA, no sorry, the 50 SMA is at 0.18. The 50 EMA currently sitting around about the lower end of 0.18, with the 200 EMA down at around about 0.17. So we can see the price has now dropped below the 50 EMA, the 50 SMA and the 200 EMA. Technically this is bearish. In my opinion it's not. I think this is just a temporary dip below these EMAs, looking for that move down to around about the 0.171 cent area, maybe as low as 0.163 of a cent before we do see that next push to the upside. We can obviously be targeting at equilibrium, we could be targeting the retest of that high, looking at that around about 0.22496 of a cent. So overall we can see it's ranging the markets. The stochastics have reset, the 1 hour and the 4 hour, both oversold, looking for that next push to the upside. I do think we need to see the price come back and test these upper areas here on this hourly chart. Moving over to the daily chart, well, the last time we covered this, guys, we did obviously talk about the break of this lower trend line. Now this lower trend line we have been monitoring for quite some time, all the way back here in June 2022. We've seen the price come down here, testing it and bouncing from it. So most recently, obviously, we can see that price coming down for the very first time, wicking below this trend line over here on the 19th of November. Then it done so again on the 24th of November. However, when we looked at this, guys, we spoke about it and we said a close below this trend line right here would be incredibly bearish. However, what did we see happen? We seen this one close above. So in my eyes, we are finding this lower trend line as a continued area of support for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. Should we come down to test it this week, where we are looking around about 0.16873 of a cent, I don't think that is overly much of a concern this today in particular. So yeah, that would be our daily close position below there. We can see on this daily though, we are trading below the 50 SMA in green, the 50 EMA in red and that 200 EMA in white. So on the daily we are still technically bearish. We do still have a weak low. The daily is in actual fact still in a bearish structure, looking for a continuation to the downside. Now I do think we have still got some room to the downside here for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. We are monitoring this lower trend line. Until this breaks, we have to respect what's kind of going on here. I do think, you know, we have that opportunity to retest 0.08889 of a cent, which is obviously an incredibly low price. That is the bear market bottom that we currently have for Fundora. I do think we have a chance to come down to test there. More realistically, a chance to come down to test that previous low at 0.11 of a cent. I do think that, you know, we do still have a little bit of downside to go for Fundora before we see, you know, a monumental run to the upside. So we can see on the weekly chart we have came up to test out that 200 EMA, not quite reaching it, but also finding it as rejection. Currently down testing out the 50 SMA and the 50 EMA. I do think, you know, we have potential further to the downside. We also have this fair value gap between 0.14 of a cent and 0.13 of a cent, all the way back from the 7th of January 2023. Potentially just looking to fill this one out before that next move to the upside. So yeah, on the daily chart here, it is technically still bearish, which is not a problem. We have been looking for accumulation between 0.17 and 0.11. So there's absolutely nothing out of the ordinary here for Fundora. It's playing out extraordinarily well. Now, we're looking at the weekly chart here for Fundora. Now, this is the bullish outlook. We should look at this. We have been monitoring this W, X, Y, X and Z structure to the downside here in this bear market. Now technically this Z wave is finished here, completing the structure at 0.11153 of a cent back on the 26th of December 2022. We have met the minimum requirement for this move to the downside. Personally, I do think, you know, that we are just in a bigger A, B and C structure, and to expect, you know, a little bit lower pricing to come. But until that happens, we are where we are. Smart money concept is a bit confused on this weekly chart. It has a week high, it has a week low. So the narrative here is it can go either way. But what we can see is the test of this 50 EMA is acting as rejection over from when it originated back in March 2022, April 2022, finding rejection from here. Also February 23, finding rejection. Now we tested it into June of this year, finding a close above, instantly closing back below, and then from here we have been, you know, pretty much finding this 50 EMA on the weekly as rejection. I do think, you know, that's where we're going to see this sitting for a little bit. The weekly is looking for progression to the upside. However, I think we could see this one cool off before we do see that progression. Now, as we look to the next bull market, well, we have a fantastic opportunity to make a potentially a life-changing sum of money, depending on your investment, depending on, you know, your strategy when you come out of this market and so forth. So the first area of interest that I do have for Fundora, well, first of all, we will be looking at this area around about here, if we could grab onto the correct one, around about here, the 0.12. So 1.237 cent. I do think it's quite an interesting area. We have a bit of, you know, support resistance on this area, but the main area of previous support and resistance comes all the way up here at 3.7 cent, all the way up to 6.06 of a cent. We have a fantastic opportunity if we were to take, you know, the current market price. You're looking at a 2,000 to a 3,500% return on investment. However, I think that's quite an underwhelming strategy, an underwhelming target. Sorry, I think, you know, we easily have the potential here. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, this is just my thoughts and my opinions, to see Fundora do a 100x. For it to 100x, you're looking at 17 cent. I do think this is a possibility. Of course, we do have the all-time high here, the original all-time high here for Fundora at 27 cent. It will take a monumental effort to get Fundora back up to that 17 cent level. But realistically, I think, you know, we could see that happen. It's not impossible for it to do so. Then we're talking about the possibility. Could we see a 1000x for Fundora? So you're talking around about 100,000% returns on investment. You would have to see that price come up to $1.77 from its current price. I think that is a bit of a big ask. You know, 100x, I think, you know, you could maybe be a bit generous looking for that 100x. I do think it's entirely possible, depending on where you got into this kind of project. Now, like many of our community, if you were getting into it on its lows over here, then your 100x comes a bit more attainable, moving up to around about 12 cent. I do think, once again, it is entirely possible. I think this next bull run is going to be an unbelievable change of wealth, and you're going to see some unbelievable size gains. Now, as we know, these higher risk projects, which Fundora most certainly is, does tend to have a higher return. So when we talk about potential 100x, potential 1000x, is Fundora in that category? Let us know in the comments down below what you think of this one, guys. I will leave that one there for today, a short, snappy video on all things Fundora. Now, of course, we do have our Findora stake pool. It is linked in the description down below. Make your crypto do the work for you. Earn passive income on your Findora. We have earned a phenomenal amount of returns on our Findora staking so far, as has our community. So yeah, check that out. It's linked in the description down below. Stake your Findora. Make it do the work for you guys. I cannot speak highly enough of the staking. The rewards have been phenomenal this far. But yes, we will leave that one there for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, smash up the like button, subscribe, tap on the bell selecting all of the notifications, all the usual good stuff. I do hope you all have a very nice day. I will catch you all in the next one.